Hi everybody, it's UsernameKate and welcome to the channel. Today I have used the sun as an excuse to come along to Smalley Cross Motorcycles in Derbyshire to have a play on one of their motorcycles. Now, if you're not aware of who Smalley Cross Motorcycles are, they're a family-run independent motorcycle dealer in the heart of Derbyshire. They're a wonderful team. The lads and lasses here are amazing. And I have actually bought a motorcycle from them recently, which I'll cover in another video at another time. But today we're going to focus on the bike that I am riding. And actually, much like the 450MT, there has been lots of internet hype surrounding this bike. It is CFMOTO's 1000MT-X. And what's so good about it, you ask? Well, this is CFMOTO's attempt at a big adventure bike, and it comes in with a really high specification and a suspiciously low price. So today I want to take it out on the road and see if this bike actually lives up to the hype surrounding it. Now, in this review today, it's going to be a road review. There'll be plenty of off-road reviews from the recent launch that I was unfortunately unable to attend, but in this we're going to focus on the road ride because personally, you know, 1000, I'm thinking that this bike is going to see most of its life on tarmac with the odd gravel jaunts. So if you're interested to come along with me for a deep dive on this bike, we're going to really look into it, look at all its features, and also go through the seat heights, because as you know, riders come in all shapes and sizes, as I can vouch for. So if you're interested in that, definitely get comfy and I'll play the intro. Right guys, I've just pulled up and I'm going to talk you through this bike, but before I deglove and I get my pocket 3 out to walk you around it, the price of this bike, unreal. On the road, £8,898, mental. Right team, so before I get into the ride of this absolute beast, the 1000MT-X, I thought I would just do a little bit of a walk round, get up close and personal with it so you can see what it's all about. Now, at its heart, that is in effect a KTM engine. It's a 946cc parallel twin, and it puts out 112 brake horsepower at 8,500 RPM and 105 newton meters of torque at 6,250 RPM. Now, it's pretty much what you get in the Duke 990, but it is tuned for adventuring, as they say. So if we have a look up here, let's pan to the suspension. So this is what's kind of good about this bike for the price also. We have KYB 48mm upside down, fully adjustable suspension. Let's have a look at it. Nice. And then if we look at the shock, we've got a multi-link shock, again KYB, and again fully adjustable, so that's some proper beefy hardware. Then if we look at the brakes, you think they might have skimped or cheaped out there. Nope, we've got Brembo calipers and radially mounted at that. They haven't just gone for axle mounted, they've actually put some radials on. You've got 320mm twin discs. And then if we have a look at the rear, again we've got a Brembo caliper and we've got a 260mm disc. So that is pretty good. At the front, we have a 21-inch front wheel, we've got an 18-inch at the back, and the tyres are tubeless. What's pretty cool about this is it has a 22.5 litre tank, and if we look at it from the front, you can see it's very similar to the tank of the 790 Adventure, the 890 Adventure R. It keeps a lot of the weight relatively low down, so it does make it quite nice when you're a little weakling like me and you're heaving it off the stand. It's actually quite easy because a lot of that weight is so low. So if we pan up here, you will notice we have a steering damper, 20 clicks of steering damper. That's absolutely mental for a bike of this price, I would say. We've got cruise control, very Billy Bog standard, but cruise control nonetheless. You just push it that way on, and then you just set it, and you want to go a bit faster, you want to go a bit slower. So this bike has a few optional extras that Smalley Cross Motorcycles have spec'd it with. So we've got all these grips around here for the whole set. Let's walk around and show you what they look like. That's £60. Then they've thrown on a few little bits of bling. Let's find my camera here. So we've got the reservoir cover there, and then on this side again, let me spin it round, better angle. There we go. We have this as well, which again is £30, and then we have a taller screen, which I think, you know, just increases it by a few inches, and that is only available in smoked. If you were to just have the standard screen, photobomb, that is clear. So team, I know seat heights are very, very important to you guys, so I am a 5'4" individual with a 29-inch inside leg measurement. That is 162 centimetres height, and a 73.66 centimetre inside leg measurement, if you prefer that. And there's a lot to talk about with seat height options on this bike, so let me flip the camera around one momento. If you were to just order one of these bikes, this is what you would get in terms of like suspension model. So it has a seat height of 870mm. Now I'm going to pop on the screen now what that looks like for me to sit on this bike with the measurements that I've just given you. Now as you can see, that seat is all black, and that's a proper telltale sign that you've got a standard seat on that bike. Now, if we have a look here, you can see that this seat is actually nice and grey. So that is a telltale sign that this is the low seat, and it's still heated. I love that CFMOTO haven't scrimped out on that. They've not said, right, all you shorties can suffer with a cold butt. No, they've given us a heated one. That's £250 if you wanted that option. And this takes the seat height down by 20mm. So it actually makes it 850mm, which is what I'm riding it today. Now, I know I'm small, but I'm used to riding a bike of this height because my GS was this height when I owned my R1200 GS. So I'm quite used to it. Although, what I will say about the seat is it's very wide. So the standover is not narrow at all. So you must be prepared for the width to kind of splay your legs out a little bit, because it does. So yeah, that's what it's like for me to sit on this bike as it is now, how I'm riding it at 850mm. Now I'm going to roll on the screen an 800MT-X, and you're going to say, why are you showing me this, Kate? I don't care about this bike, I'm interested in the 1000 at this moment, it's why I'm watching the video. Well, it's funny you should say that, because this bike, this 1000, is also available in a low suspension model, which is completely different suspension. It does impact the travel, so if you were going to off-road on it, you do have to be aware of that, but it is just a lower model that you can order. So that has a seat height of 830mm, and I'm going to wheel on the screen now the 800 because it gives you a direct idea of what the 1000 would be like to sit on, because it's exactly the same height in this low suspension option. So as you can see, I'm sat on it now with a normal seat on it, so that gives it the seat height of 830mm. That's what it's like for me to sit on it. But then as you can see, the colour now of the seat will have changed because we've put the low one on, which fits from the 1000 to the 800. You can, you know, swap them that way. It's not a different part number for the 1000 versus the 800. So I have popped the low seat on here, which reduces that 830mm to 810mm. So this is the lowest physical setting that you could have for your 1000 if you wanted. But don't be fooled, 810 sounds low, but the seat, as I mentioned, is wide and you do have to account for that. So I would definitely recommend going and sitting on this bike. Then for you tall people, they have a tall seat which has grey flashes but kind of inverted and just at the back here. So it's like all black with just grey flashes. That's how you can tell it's a heated high seat. Again, £250 for that, but it raises the seat height by 15mm. So you could ultimately take this bike to 885mm if you wanted to. Right, so I'm on CFMOTO's 1000MT-X. Oh, glutton. How gluttonous. And yeah, just out for a bimble. And honestly, the bike thus far, I mean, I've ridden so far about an hour away from Smalley Cross Motorcycles just to get a feel for it, to get a flavour for it, because sometimes when you just jump straight into your first impressions, you're still feeling out the bike, sussing out the bike. And yeah, I just wanted to get a few miles under my belt first. But I'm suitably bonding with this bike, so that is a good sign. Now, as you can see, I am very much utilising that 8-inch vertical or portrait dash. It's touchscreen, so that's quite a nice touch. But offload it round. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite nice. Now, you can just use their built-in navigation if you want, but I downloaded the app for the purpose of figuring out what it was like, because apparently that's one of the big selling points about these bikes, is kind of how you can connect it to your phone and just make your bike a smart vehicle. So one of the benefits of that, before you go, oh, I don't like that, that sounds too dystopian, is this bike has a tracker just on it, and it's free for the first year, and then you have to pay a little bit per year. I don't know what that price is off the top of my head, so I'll ask the guys at Smalley Cross Motorcycles and I'll pop it on the screen now how much that subscription is. But I don't think that's bad for a tracker, you know, just to keep an eye on your baby and see where it is at all times. Right, let's see how good these brakes are. Oh god, yeah, they're bloody brilliant, aren't they? Flipping Nora. I did check my mirrors to make sure no one was behind me when I hankered on. Yo, those Brembos Bremboing. So I'm just riding pretty slow. Try not to stop, although that's gonna have to happen. But yeah, I have got a tiptoe down on this tall beast, even with the low seat. Oh, she's still tall for me. I'm small. I'm just small. Right, so second gear, coming up to a Nationale, baby. Woo! Okay, so yeah, it's got that KTM 990. Well, it's actually realistically a 946cc, but you've got that engine in this bike, and it can feel as chill as you like. It can be a little pussycat, but then the minute you just wind it open, woo! Yeah, you can get up to speed pretty quickly in the Nationals, baby. So yeah, it's certainly not lacking punch. Obviously it's not as ballistically violent getting up there as the KTM 990, because this is, as I mentioned earlier, kind of tuned for adventuring. Damn, okay, we're going up some hairpins, I think. This should be fun. Here we go, first one. Nice and steep. Absolutely fine. next one. Nice and steep. Absolutely fine. Yeah, okay. Second gear has got plenty chuffage to get you up in. So that is brilliant. Oh, this view though. This view is absolutely sensational. Oh yeah, boy. Tell you what, for something with a 21-inch front, it handles very nicely. It's got a nice amount of punch and poke to it. Quite a torquey motor. I really do like that. It's just like 5th gear. I thought it could have been in 3rd then. Look down, 5th gear. Just plenty of drive up the inclines. I like that a lot. Down the box with the blipper. Put it into 2nd, why not? Oh yes. Accelerate. Nice twists. Get the speed right down with the front brake. They were good. Long it round. Alright. On the gas. Okay. Yeah, it gets up to national speeds. Quite nice. Let me just go on home. There we go. Ah, there we go. So it tells you tyre pressures as well. So let's talk about some of the features of this bike, because there are a lot. So obviously we've got the dash. So we've got a quick shifter and auto blipper as standard, and I've got to say, generally speaking, when you're on it and the bike's under load, going up the box is quite seamless. Going down can feel a little crunchy at times. We've got 3 different levels of traction control. Whoa! When you wind it on, it does give you a surge of power. It's quite nice. One thing I'm noticing, a fair bit of heat from the left hand side of this bike. Now it is a very hot day. British days are not usually like this, so maybe a bit of engine heat could definitely be seen most of the time. There's a bit of a pro, but yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. One of the things I've noticed, the engine braking is pretty dramatic on this, but it does handle rather nice. And it took me a little bit of time to get used to the throttle, because like a lot of Chinese bikes, I find, whether it's CFMOTO or it's Vosges, I do tend to find that sometimes it can feel a bit like choppy. But yeah, in order to not feel that, this bike definitely kind of benefits being ridden in a higher gear than say you probably normally would. Look at the cows! Hey cows! Cows! So the bike is apparently good for a hypothetical range of 310 miles now. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be putting that to the test today. So we have the mirrors are very much like on the 450MT on this. The 800 doesn't have these mirrors, but the 450 and the 1000 do. Okay, so we're 3rd gear. We're at 25 miles an hour. We are going downhill, so gravity is giving us a helping hand. A little bit surgy, a little bit. Oh yeah, you feel it through town, the engine heat on that left side specifically. Oh. So I'm just going to pull up here and have a play about with the maps. So let's stop. Right, so I've just stopped and we've got some stuff here. So we'll go back to the home page. We'll go into settings. Here we've got standard, so it says that with standard I've got my TC on and I can switch it off if I want. We're going to put it back on. Then we've got rain, which shows that your TC is on and your ABS is on and you're not allowed to play with those. Then you go in off mode. You've got traction control levels 3, so you can put that on most intrusive, medium intrusion, least intrusive, TC off. And then ABS, you can switch the rear off, but it keeps the front on. Then you can go into all-terrain, where it switches ABS off completely. Drive with care, confirm, big blue button. Oh, you gotta press and hold. Enabling. So yeah, this is the crazy mode, do what you want. But we're gonna put it in standard, because we want to put it in standard. Quick shift, that's switched on. Emergency brake flashing, so if you brake real hard, you can, it'll flash. Right, I might be absolutely sadistic for this. An absolute freak. Maybe because the bike's not running. Let's put it in neutral. Get it running. Let's go 3 and 3. Right, I've got the heat grips and heated seat on full because I need to test them out for testing out's sake, even if it is like 25 degrees or something daft like that. I'll suffer for the art. So here, headsets, phone, Wi-Fi, media phone, carpet, it's all volume stuff, screen brightness, auto brightness, font size, instrument mode, classic or smart. And then here, all the kind of technical stuff. So we'll go back, we're in standard still, we'll go back on the map. There we go. Right, we're back on track now. Accelerate. Wow, quick shifter was brutal. Oh yes. So one of the things that I think makes the bike super impressive, like the price alone, like just shy of £8,900, but it's the fact that for that, the bike comes equipped with a 6-axis IMU, so it's not just got traction control or ABS, it's got lean sensitive traction control and ABS, which I think is pretty good. Oh my gosh guys, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the heated stuff. It's very good, it works great. I just wish it'd work a little less. So what can we do on the fly with this function button? Let's have a look. So we press it. Oh, thank the Lord. I can switch the heated stuff off. Fabulous! Yes, so I've done that on the fly, which is great. Which is very good, very nice. So we can do that, I like it. For charging, you've got a normal USB and a USB-C, A and C I think it is, here. And it's in a right nice place as well. On some Chinese bikes they put the charging ports in very random places, like on the bloody frame and stuff, like you're gonna route a wire up to your bars. Very strange behaviour. Right, so we're up here, we're in a national. A rather narrow national at that, but a national nonetheless. So we can have a good flow around, we can see what life is about on this bike. Okay. Looking quite tight, calm our tatties, judge the bend. Life is good, we can see up there, it's pretty clear. Yep. As anticipated. We will do a cheeky little overtake. Gracias. Little leg out to thank them. And then just get back with the flow, baby. Oh yes. Oh, do you know what? When you do wind it on, it does go. It can ride so sedately, but also it can go like a scalded weasel. Right team, well, I'm gonna take you to my outro. Right everybody, well I am back in from a cheeky 100 miles, pretty much exact, on Smalley Cross Motorcycles CFMOTO 1000MT-X. Do you know what, sometimes I come in and I hope that I can like bash it, so you guys don't think that I'm just being like, oh everything's amazing. But this bike really does put a good case forward for why you should buy it. It's actually very, very good for the price. It's not perfect, and I often find this with Chinese machines. They're just a little rough around the edges in their riding experience. They might have everything there in terms of, you know, features and cruise control, heated stuff, and you know, a lot of that all works very, very well, but sometimes I just find the ride a little bit choppier, a little less smooth, a little more rough and ready. So I purposely reserved jumping on it, putting my cameras on, and then just yapping straight away. I wanted to kind of suss the bike out a little bit and, you know, really give it a fair shot. And I can honestly say it's one of those bikes that actually gets more enjoyable the more you ride it. And when you do first jump on it, it does have that Chinese kind of rough and readiness to it, which makes you think, hang on a minute, is it going to be good for the price as opposed to just good? But the more miles I put on it, the different kind of terrain that I've ridden it on in situations like motorway, dual carriageways, then on hairpins, then on country roads and through town, you know, it's actually made me think they're going to do very, very well with this bike. They'll sell a lot of them. You know, like everything, things aren't perfect, so I'll put my pros on the screen and my cons, because I have, you know, kind of come to a few conclusions with those, so they'll be on there for you to check out. If you want me to dig a bit deeper into them, then please do let me know in the comments, and I'll certainly try and add to those if you want a bit more detail. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it as much, that is for sure. And I was kind of thinking about my experience on like the Vosges, the DS 900X, because I thought it would be like a similar experience, but I think I genuinely prefer this, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. Now, one of my commenters made a very, very compelling case for, you know, these kind of bikes. So he commented on my Triumph Tiger 900 Alpine Edition review. Now that bike is around £14,000. He commented and said, you could get the 1000MT-X and a 450MT and still be under the price of that bike, that one bike. And that made me think, wow, you could get something like this, garage space, you know, a factor of course. You could get something like this for your long haul European jaunts, for your proper mile scratching, and then you could just go and take your 450MT off-roading and, you know, commit that one to being the off-roader that's lighter, probably more up for the job really if you think about it, and then just have this in your garage as your weekend toy or your big long mileage, you know, weapon. So yeah, food for thought, isn't it? Food for thought. But yeah, very, very, very much enjoyed riding this bike, and like I said, I think it will do brilliantly for them. Yeah, so I guess that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really, really enjoyed filming it, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye.